But anyway, very funny guy. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Josh Smith.
Hello, Reading. Thank you all for coming, and thank you, Dan, and the whole Performing Arts Center for setting this up. I really appreciate it. In life, as I've gotten older, it surprises me how, just certain things that come up you just would never expect you'd have to deal with. For example, my daughter once, the lies that kids might tell, right? I'm not talking about like turning in homework or not turning in homework or something, but like my daughter, when she was in the 4th grade, she told her class that she got the part in Selena Gomez was getting kicked off of Wizards of Waverly Place, and she was taking over. And then, and then there's other, strange things like, shopping for cars. We have to price things around, and so I never thought about having to price the cost to put my dog to sleep. Yeah, I know, it's sad, but so, and then I kind of had a little fun with it because it's fun to call a place and say, instead of putting my dog down, instead, I call and say, hey, I need you to kill my dog. It's surprising how expensive it is to do that. I found a place that is $500 to do that. Finally, I found one that was as low as $50, and so I was thinking, maybe there's a business here. Maybe I could put ads on Craigslist, and you pay me $100, and I'll pocket $50. Of course, who wants to go to the ASPCA or with like 30 dogs and say, I need you to kill all of these dogs. Yeah, I once went hiking with my dog, and he was getting on in years, as you might expect from the previous note. And it was a 10-mile hike, and I come back, and he's kind of lame. He's limping a little bit, and so I call my girlfriend, and she knows a lot about dogs, and she suggested home remedies. You can use Benadryl, and I thought of it. I don't have Benadryl. What about Tylenol or ibuprofen? And she said she didn't know, and so. Has anyone ever had to carry a dead dog? They're heavy. He just, it's like you got the dead weight, but he's also, like a bag of Jello. So I live in an apartment, and I couldn't carry him. So I tied a rope around him, and I go over to my balcony, and I start lowering him down. And he slipped out of my hands. What would you do if you're sitting, in your house or your apartment or whatever, and you're looking out in your patio, and out of nowhere, a dog comes flying out of the sky and smashes into your patio furniture, and you just, what the heck? So I got my leash, and I went downstairs, and I knocked on her door. And I said, I think my dog got into your yard. And she's kind of stunned looking at me, and I said, yeah, he does that. And so I went over, and I put his leash on him, and I started dragging him, like that. And yeah, I said, he can be a little stubborn at times. And so I went and I got him into my car, and I found a side street. This may sound a little creepy, but I just left him there. And don't worry, his name tag, the phone number went to my ex-wife, so she took care of it. What else? Speaking of my ex-wife, it's strange as you get on in marriages when they don't work, how things start to change a little bit. How you feel about each other. Like, for example, she at some point she didn't like the way I smelled anymore, and so she started buying me cologne, but it was the same exact cologne that her father wears. Isn't that weird? Every place I went, I felt like he was following me. But it is hard when it's awkward when you have to hang out or be with people that they have body odor. And like I used to know this couple, Steve and Cindy, and Steve he was just reeked. My daughter said, why do you invite him over? My eyes hurt when he's around. And, sometimes you smell him just because you couldn't believe how bad he smelled. Now, if you're someone that has that problem, I really feel for you. It's tough. I feel more for the people sitting next to you. But, and Steve, sometimes he was so bad, he'd go outside and dogs would just come up and pee on him. And his wife, Cindy, she also had, her things. She was a big hugger. Those people who just, every single second, they got to give you a hug. You say hello, there's a hug. And, you tell them a story, oh, there's another hug. She would go, went up to a homeless man and gave him a big hug, and he said, lady, I don't have any money, and I'm not giving you any of my cigarettes. And she also had a bit of a twitch, that every now and again she would just kind of go, but, so the other thing that this couple, Steve and Cindy, and they gave the worst gifts. I don't want to be, rude about that. But like she gave my ex-wife, wife at the time, a big container of lipstick, but it was used. There were pieces of food in it, and they were smudged. And we asked her, well, what is this? And she said, no, they're not. They're new. I just tested them to make sure they'd be okay for you. But what is the worst gift that you can give somebody? Anyone? An animal. You really should not give someone an animal. So, they're at an event, they're supposed to bring a gift, and out of nowhere, Cindy says to Steve, we left our gift in the car, you gotta go get it, it's been out there for hours. So he comes in, and it's a big box with holes in it, and I'm like, oh no. What have you done? So I open it up. It's a child. It's a 2-year-old boy. Who gives that? So I pick him up, and he's got like a Safeway bag wrapped around him. I said, what the heck is this? And she said, well, he poops all over the place. And I'm just like, it's beyond me. And then from her purse, she says, oh, I almost forgot. And she pulls out a bag of frozen chicken nuggets. And she said, this is all he eats. He loves them. We give them to him every day, every meal. That's all he wants to eat. Well, no wonder he's pooping all over the place. And then, so, after a while, I'm just like, when did you get this child? And she said, oh, we've had him for a couple of weeks. Really? We were just at your house. And she said, I'm so proud that we didn't, give this away, but we left him in the garage, and he just slept on a blanket. Are you kidding me? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, where did you get this boy? And she said, well, I'm not allowed to say, but, just enjoy him. We know you'll take care of him. And so I said, you're giving me a child as a present? And I said, and he's, this is all you've been feeding him? And is there anything else I need to know? And she said, yeah, he's a bit of a thief. I said, what do you mean? And so she went, I don't know. I went out to the garage, and I found a roll of cash, some jewelry, and our, a bank statement, and our will. So I said, so you're giving me a 2-year-old kid that has a poor diet, and he's thinking about killing you? Anyway, anyone have Kaiser for insurance? I used to have it. I never was very happy with it. And the worst part was the mental health part of it. I went to see a psychologist through them. And you know, I go in and I say, you know, he asks me what's going on. I said, you know, I'm feeling a little bit down. And he said, why don't you kill yourself? I said, are you kidding me? You're suggesting that? He said, yeah, it'll solve all of your problems. In fact, you know, you could just jump off a bridge, maybe the Golden Gate Bridge. And he said, but if you do choose the Golden Gate Bridge, they're putting people catchers on there, so you better get it in, otherwise you won't be able to use it. And then he said, you know, it doesn't have to be the Golden Gate Bridge, it could be any bridge, you know, you know, the Golden Gate Bridge is a little touristy, you know. In fact, if you want to go next Saturday, we can carpool. I've been thinking about doing it myself. Thank you very much, that's my time.